So basically, when we start off our mushroom production, we start at this section right here, which is where we bag our mushroom bags right here. So we start off with a wood pellet. It's an organic, certified organic wood pellet. It has oak wood in here and organic soy hulls, and it's mixed together and compressed into a pellet, almost like a fuel burning pellet, right? And then that has the perfect mix of 50% organic soy hulls and 50% oak wood, so a hardwood. The mushrooms like the hardwood. The soy hulls are basically the nitrogen the mushroom needs to be able to feed and the mycelium needs to feed. So we bag them in here into 10-pound bags. We add the right amount of water when we pull this lever. You can see right here, the water comes down when you pull right here. And then we'll open these things out, drop the right amount of soy in there. I mean the right amount of soy and oak wood in there, and then we hit the lever. It's the perfect amount of water for that bag. We seal it, and then it goes in the sterilizers. Once we fold and seal our blocks, they go into our little sterilizers, and we steam them at about 200 degrees for about 24 hours. They steam in here, and then we let them cool off for about a day, and then they go into the lab. And then the lab's where they get inoculated. And I believe right there they're unloading those bags right now, so you can see them in there. Okay, so these blocks have been cooking for over 24 hours and they've cooled off now for probably half a day to a day now. And we put preconditioned air from the lab into these sterilizers to cool off these blocks. So now the girls are stacking them and they're going straight into the lab. And they do it first thing in the morning so they're not dirty, right? Because if they're dirty or contaminated, they can contaminate the bag. So they're wearing gloves and they move them in there, and then we alcohol the bags, and then we inoculate them with the different spores that we want to grow. So it goes from here and it goes straight into grow room. So straight into the lab. Sorry. In our lab, this is where we put our. This is the only room in the farm that has to be completely sterile. So we clean this lab multiple times a day, especially if we're going in and out. But it has ozone in here. It's got flow hoods. As you can see here, this is where we inoculate all the bags on the right by these flow hoods right here. So we open up the bag, we inoculate each bag with the different spores of mushrooms, seal them again, and then they go into this colonizing room here in this room right here with this red light, and they'll sit there for about 2 to 3 weeks. If you notice, each one of our rooms has a slightly different temperature depending on what mushroom we're growing. So this one's, not our coldest room, but it's like somewhere in the middle. They don't like it too hot, they don't like it too cold. So we're about mid to high 60s in here. And where the black room I told you was low to mid 50s. And then the colored room, the pinks and yellows, they like it a little bit warmer. They like it in the 70s, like low 70s. High 60s, probably like 71, 72, they like that. So basically we do succession planting like you would out in the field in veggies. So because we have large orders every week of different mushrooms, we're going to make sure that every week we have, especially if we're on a menu, chef's he doesn't really want to know the reason why he doesn't have his mushrooms, he just wants his mushrooms, especially if it's on the menu. So we have to succession plant. So what we do is every week we'll put in X amount of blocks, which we know will yield X amount of pounds around the right amount day. We'll get close within 1 or 2 days of when they need to be there. So we just time it like 1 or 2 days before they need to be delivered and they come out. So like these went in at 9:18, and you can see they're nowhere near yet pinning, but then they'll go from this stage to like this stage, that's a little bit further on, and then it will start getting larger and larger. So once they pin, they'll probably take about 7 to 10 days before they start pinning, and then when they stop pinning, it'll take another like 6-7 days before they actually get a nice fruit. So you're looking about 10 days in the grow room, sometimes 12 in the grow room, but that's about how long they take.
Awesome.
And you have to give it the right humidity.
Example,
yeah. So you have the right humidity, temperature. The CO2 levels have to be just right. If the CO2 levels get too high, the mushrooms will not grow right. So you have to completely evacuate. And the trouble in South Florida, and you asked me before, you're like, you know, I don't see that many mushroom farms in South Florida, right? There's a reason for that. Mushrooms like the mid 60s or high 50s, well, if it's 100 degrees outside, how do you do an air exchange from the room? So every 15 minutes or so, especially if you have a lot of mushrooms in the room, the CO2 levels go through the roof. So you need to pull that air out of your grow room and replace it with fresh air. And that is the trick. That is our secret sauce of being able to grow in South Florida in the summer 365. That's what we do here. We grow every day. Yeah. So no matter how hot it is outside. So that's what we've learned how to combat with our techniques and the way that we grow and the way we design our grow rooms. So we have a way to keep this room in the 50s and 60s without it having a huge spike because I'm pulling in 100-degree air in here. So we have techniques and tricks on how to pull in cold air into the room instead of hot air.
Wow. Yeah, actually
we put our logo on the inside of the box.
This is retarded.
They don't like our logo on the.
No.
This is the regular. This is what our box regular looks like.
Because these guys sell to other people.
What's this, Nico? Oh, this is the greens.
Yeah. So let me put like our regular box.
No, I mean yeah, okay.
So you can see our logo and everything.
Those ones are also vegans. Nice. What do you give them? Just what do they order?
Well,
chef mix?
In this case, it's going to be the first like.
That's the
really like order.
First order. Is that an order or is that a sample box?
Yeah, they want a sample box to start from buying from us. They want to start buying from us, and
if that doesn't get them to buy, I don't know.
So that's a sample box. That's what they give for a sample.
Yeah.
I need a sample box.
That's a mix. You need to make him some boxes before you.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
But I'll be purchasing, so I'm supporting.
Okay. We don't typically sell chestnuts directly because they take forever and they would be super expensive. So what we do is we put them in our chef mixes as like a treat, you know. So we give them little pops of it rather than just poundage of it. Yeah, because it takes like weeks and weeks and weeks to grow. So it's like 3 times longer than all the other mushrooms that we sell. Yeah. So it doesn't make sense. Chestnuts, yeah. They're great, they're beautiful, but they just take forever. So. If you go look right here, this is all, you can see all the restaurants on here. Got the Lowe's right here, you've got Old Greg Pizzas right here, Fiola, Butcher and the Club, which one is this? What's OTP?
Oh, they're nice mixes, huh?
Yeah, we've got all these nice restaurants. Oh look, Los Felix is a Michelin restaurant right here. He's so anal retentive, it's ridiculous. This is Los Felix and Cruz Kitchen in Miami. I don't know if you know those guys.
They got a lot, huh?
Yeah, this is going to Fresh Point. This is going to Mr. Green's.
We have some blue oyster right here, which is our main bestseller mushrooms. Then a nice nugget of lion's mane, which is also a bestseller. We don't sell these here like a 3-pound box, it's just to treat them right. Like a little bit. Nice pink oyster right here. Black barb here and there. And chestnut right. Yellow oyster right there in the center for color. A little white for balance. And voila.
Yeah, so what we're doing here is obviously we grow lots of mushrooms. We want to work with some smaller farms now and people that are interested in growing mushrooms, and that's why we're building our glamping retreat also, is to bring people in and teach them how to set up mushroom containers, and we can even custom build them for them. And then our goal is to make extra blocks for those farms. So they don't have to do everything from A to Z, because they will most certainly fail if they try to start off from A to Z. Very difficult in mushroom production. So fruiting is already challenging in itself. So what we do is we help support our farmers, set them up with a proper grow room, teach them all the little tricks of the trade, and then we provide them with our certified organic blocks. And we give them to them at a price that's very, very affordable, so that they can fruit out 4 or 5 pounds of mushrooms from that block, and then generate some good returns so they can sell to their restaurants, to their farmers markets, to whatever they want to do. And it stops them from having to fail by trying to do everything from A to Z, which we failed trying to do everything A to Z when we started. So it's much better to fruit blocks first, get a feel for it for a couple years, and then if you feel like you want to get down and dirty and learn all the lab work and everything, then you can jump into that, but it's another animal in itself. So this is our little glamping educational retreat. So we've built a glamping educational retreat here where we can have people come from all around the world, and they stay in our little geodesic domes that are handcrafted. We built them. We've built them all out, and we have a bunch more to go still, but we've got about 4 or 5 up. We should have about 9 total. About 18 people can come here for a retreat, and yeah, they're going to be really, really cool. In the inside, we'll take a little shot inside so you can take a look. We're going to be doing retreats where we teach them how to grow mushrooms, how to grow veggies. They're going to be doing yoga, sound healing. They're going to be having a private chef that comes here, takes everything from our farm and makes them breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They're going to have juices, cold plunge pools, infrared saunas, oxygen therapy. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And I'm going to bring in educators also from different parts of the health world, and they're going to be going over specific things about nutrition, about healthy cells, about, you know, different healthy lifestyles, so people can take that information, have a great 3-day vacation, but at the same time get educated and nourished at the same time. And that's what we're trying to do here. So it's not just you know, just veg out and just stuff my face on vacation for 3 days. You're going to also learn and do something productive and meet like-minded people too. So we're going to be doing all kinds of retreats, and what I was mentioning earlier was we're doing more of the health retreats, but we're also going to be doing educational retreats for professionals that want to get into farming, either fruit farming or vegetable farming or mushroom farming or microgreen farming. So we'd have people fly in from all around the world, and we'll teach them A to Z, how to set up the mushroom farm, how to grow, how to do all the little nuances that you need to be able to be successful in the mushroom farming. So that's why we built these also, is to get people here, because you can't learn all this in a day. You need at least a week to 10 days to be able to get enough information to be able to go home and implement what we've taught you. So you can't just come here for one day and learn how to grow mushrooms. It's not going to happen. So we're going to have people come here and we teach them everything. So, and then we can help provide them with blocks and even with customers too, because we can only grow so much, and we're going to be picking up large accounts that we can't fulfill ourselves. So we're going to have to team up with the growers that we're supporting in order to sell some of their mushrooms too, so we can meet those orders. So that's what we're planning to do here in South Florida with some small growers. Yeah, so people always ask me, like, why did you set up this farm? Like, why did you do that? Blah, blah, blah. And there's always a why people do certain things, and this is obviously a big why. You know, I had a terminal disease around 2008, stage 4 cancer. They didn't give me very long to live, and I ended up making it out of that by some miracle, and I started growing my own food. I started juicing, doing microgreens. You know, every bit of my garden and my house was raised beds, and we were growing all our own foods and turmerics and microgreens and wheatgrass and a lot of medicinal stuff. That was how it started, how Gratitude Garden started. And then, you know, when we got to the point when we didn't have any more room in our house to grow, we bought this piece of land out here in Loxahatchee and started building out our farm. It was a decision to decide, you know, are we going to chase money or are we going to chase passion? And we went for the passion rather than the money. And because everybody knows that if you do your passion, eventually your money will come, at least what you need to survive. And you know, that's kind of what's happened with us. You know, we went in head first, not knowing what we were doing, making a lot of mistakes, but our passion shines through any of those mistakes, because, you know, we don't get discouraged that easily. We just keep plugging along and figuring out what works for us. So that's our why of why we set up this farm, and our main purpose is to grow the most medicinal, nutrient-dense foods and extract them and make different products out of them, so people can actually heal and you know, and hopefully get their immune system back to where it needs to be. So I like to say this one quote is, your passion will stem from the pain in your life. So wherever your pain is, usually you find a passion within that, and that's kind of what we found here is creating certain products and educating people, especially what we're doing here with the glamping retreat, educating people on how to heal themselves, how to eat correctly, how to live right, and they'll learn a lot of hacks in order to improve their life on a physical and emotional level. So we work with local chefs here in South Florida. We do some wholesale mushrooms to them, and you know, we like working with the chefs that understand what we do, understand how difficult it is, and that we are a dying breed. We're a rare breed. Small organic farms are very rare, especially in South Florida, and we are a dying breed. So any support that we get from the local community is always great, and you know, we're necessary. We are necessary, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a small organic farm. It's because otherwise you're giving your power away to corporations that are just profit-based driven, and they don't care what they do to get the product out to market. And you know, you're going to be at the mercy of large corporations rather than the small organic farm that grows, you know, 60, 70, 80 different products all within the same
biosphere, so you're getting that diversity of pollination, of bugs, of everything. If you're doing a monocrop, even if you call it organic, you're doing a monocrop of 500 acres of one item, you're gonna have to spray something, because there's no way you're gonna be able to grow properly without, you know, the pests are gonna come in that attack that one crop, and you don't have any others to protect it, so you're gonna have to spray. And that's not what we deem farming to be. It's more, you know, an immersion of different crops and you know, and different insects and different you know, different ways of growing. But we try to use you know, we try to be a good steward of our land, add compost. You know, we do no-till over here also, so we're not actually tilling in anything. We're just adding fresh compost so that we don't disturb any worms or any micronutrients or organisms in the ground. So we do old school fashion dirt farming, organic farming, and we do some cover crops. We use worm teas. We use, you know, we really put in our effort to grow properly and create the most highest density food possible. And there are a couple of small farms coming up, but our farmers are dying. They're dying off, they're getting old, and their kids don't want to farm anymore. So now you're left with big corporations coming in and taking over that market. And, you know, what we do is special, and you know, any small farms, mushroom farms or regular farms that come into play, they're important. So I wouldn't overlook them, and you know, I would definitely work with them and help grow them so that they can produce the best quality food for restaurants, because you're limited to what you get when you work with the big boys, and their quality is not going to be anywhere near what a small farm can do.
100%.
So the next step of our farm is we created a glamping educational retreat where we can actually have customers or individuals come and stay, and we'll teach them. So we'll teach them how to grow food, how to grow mushrooms, how to do microgreens, how to juice, how to make smoothies. We're also going to do sound healing, yoga, cold plunge pools, infrared saunas, things to help kickstart your immune system. We're going to detox you so you can retox. You come here for 3 days and you have a complete immersion of what it's like to be in the farm and to live on the farm, and actually educate them on all the different aspects of what we do here, so they can take that information home with them.
Perfect.
Every step. So every time someone goes into the dome, there's going to be a big lemongrass bush right here. So as they walk in, they get that nice aroma as they go in. We also have, these are called grenadillas from Costa Rica. So those are big orange passion fruit that are sweet. They're sweet, they're not sour. One of the best things I've ever tried. That's why I had to have them.
Yeah.
These are some mulberries that we planted. We got some sugar cane over here. These, we're going to be making sugar cane drinks out of these. It's going to be great.
Nice. So where I'm walking right now is basically turmeric plants. I did not know that turmeric plants look like this. So that's a new lesson today. So yeah, turmeric. He grows nice fresh turmeric inside his farm, and you know, he would have the tubers at the bottom that they would then pull out, and he makes beautiful fresh turmeric juice or kombuchas and things. Hopefully we can get a little snippet into him doing the whole action of getting the turmeric out the ground. But what a cool concept. Turmeric is an amazing ingredient too. So fresh turmeric, this is what it looks like. Turmeric fields.
Turmeric right here. So this is young turmeric right here.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any skin. It's really, really nice. So
You can see that color pop through there.
yeah, so look, if I break this open. So look at this fresh one right here. See, everything snaps.
Smell it. I can smell it from here.
It's a nice one.
And this is where
This is the yellow variety. So this is what we use to make our little turmeric shots.
yeah.
So this is what we use to make turmeric shots, and you know, so this is.
That's awesome.
When we have a shit ton, you can see how much.
Yeah.
Like.
If there's one thing about this this trip and this adventure is the story that I've learned about Joseph and his story. Never give up, and you know, keep pushing, no matter how hard it gets. You know, you can do it. I take my hat off to him, and to anyone that was in a similar situation, just know that you can get out of it and things can be okay. What a great name, Gratitude Farms. So that's the wrap for Gratitude Farms. I just wanted to show you that they have these epic tinctures, lion's mane extract, and the turmeric, which is literally in the field that I'm sitting in right now, where, you know, it's good for inflammation and a whole host of good things. So yeah, if you don't just want to check out their farm, check out their products from their farm. And this is a turmeric field, and this is where they get this tincture from, and it's 100% certified organic. I'm excited to try it. So let's see what we can do with those mushrooms and get cooking. Anyway, thanks to Gratitude Farms. Thank you, Joseph. You're an absolute legend. Your story is amazing, and I will definitely be back for Gratitude Farms 2.0. 100%. Stay tuned.